My dog loves me. He protects me.
Hi everyone, this is Hund, that's Norwegian for dog. We'll talk about him in just a second. So just about every day when I'm out doing, especially private sessions, I hear this. You may have even said this before. My dog, he's so great. When strangers come up, he protects me. It's so wonderful. He gets between me and the person and he protects me from danger. Isn't my dog great? And I say, well, let's talk about that a little bit. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to talk about that behavior that dogs do that looks like they're protecting you. So there's three ways, there's really primarily three reasons that dogs do this behavior, this protecting behavior, whether it's in the home or outside the home. First, and this is very rare, they're trained. So dogs can be trained to protect owners. Actually, they're trained to give behaviors that look like they're protecting. And those are put on cue. These are highly trained dogs. This is rare. You hardly ever see these dogs. Let's talk about the rest of us at the dog parks and things like that. There's two reasons really that we see that kind of behavior. The first is resource guarding. If you've never heard that term before, what I'm talking about is the same behavior or family of behaviors that's found in such as when a dog is eating. You know how it is. The dog is there eating and you start to approach the dog and it gets right, and you really are smart not to put your hand down there. It's resource guarding the food. They can resource guard toys, bones, all kinds of stuff. But guess what else they also resource guard? People, the owners or the handlers. Now, why do they resource guard an owner? And that's really different than food and bones and toys. It's an owner. It's a living thing. Well, the dog is smart, and by the way, dogs are. Dogs get it that you protect, you provide them food, shelter, toys, love, praise. They like you. There's a reason when you call them, come, and they come to you. They like you. You bring them good things. A lot of dogs that do this kind of behavior don't want to share. That's my lollipop. You cannot share that. So how does that manifest? What does that look like? So let's say a person is walking up to Hund here, walking up like this, and now Hund suddenly is on the leash, goes just like that. All of a sudden now the person's standing there and Hund just lunges out. He starts growling, he starts barking, he starts lunging. These are called agonistic behaviors. So isn't he protecting me? Well, here's what's going on. Dogs frequently use offense is the best defense. The dog is thinking, I want that person to go away because I don't want to share my resource. So I'm going to take offense as the best defense. I'm going to lunge out, bark and get all scary, and what does the person almost always do? Moves away. There's another component of this. When the person moves away, guess what happens to the dog's head? Well, that worked. I'm going to do that again. They're continually reinforced. It's a very effective behavior for them to get rid of people. Because because the dog lunges out like this, it looks like they're putting themselves between the person and the owner, and that's not the case. Okay? Now let's talk about the third way, or third reasons, one of three reasons that dogs do this. The third is fear. We could talk a long time about aggression and fear. Just know one thing. Almost all aggression, the root cause is fear. Let's just change the scenario a little bit. I have another scary person coming up, at least to the dog. The dog comes up and says, ooh, you know what? I don't like you. You scare me. In fact, I don't like any humans. I don't like any men. I don't like children, whatever. It's up to the dog what they don't like. But let's say the dog's just afraid of all humans. Same behavior. Same exact behavior. I'm standing there, holding the dog. Offense is the best defense. I'm going to lunge out, and I'm going to get all scary looking. And what does the person do? The person goes, okay, right, like this. And the dog is what? Reinforced. Reinforced again, constantly reinforced. I hear a lot, people will say, yeah, Scott, that's true, but when my dog is off leash, he doesn't do that. Why is that? Well, there's a reason for that. You've heard of fight and flight? Okay. So the fight is what we were just talking about, and the flight would be running away. If I'm holding the leash on the dog, what option have I just eliminated?
Flight.
Flight. So he defaults then to aggression. Exactly. There are really actually two other things that dogs do, just a little anecdotal note here. We have fight and flight, and we have freeze and fidget. Okay, so when dogs get nervous, and by the way, all four of these people do. I love doing seminars where I give examples of the people behaviors. We don't have time here. The same thing, and it's sort of humbling. Oh yeah, I do that. So what are freeze and fidget? Freeze is just that the person that's on the 10th floor of the burning building, and there's a fireman who's like 250 pounds bodybuilder that could just pick her off, and she won't move because she's freezing. She's scared to death. Okay, that's freezing. Dogs do the same thing. Fidget. I'll give you a human example of fidget. Well, someone asked me, well, Scott, do you have that report ready? I don't, right? Okay, that's fidget. It's a displacement behavior. Dogs do the same thing. Let's wind this up. When you are out of park or you see a dog that is displaying that kind of behavior, we now know that it's probably not protection behavior, but do we need to be concerned? Yes, because the dog may still bite you. Okay? The motivation might be different than what you previously thought, but the behavior is the same and the dog will bite you possibly. So still stay clear. The next point I want to make, if your dog is protecting you, it's not really a great thing. Don't encourage that behavior. We know it's probably resource guarding you or is fearful. And generally, if a dog is fearful in that situation, they're fearful in other situations. So I would encourage you, instead of reinforcing that behavior and encouraging it, thinking it's good, you actually probably need to get help with your dog, and the dog can be dangerous. Enjoy your dog walks. Now you have a whole different view, don't you?
Yeah.